Good evening, everyone. I'm Leah Cooper with your JCN News for this Wednesday, November 18th. Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis, while addressing the House of Assembly this morning, says he is confident, despite difficult times, that the Bahamas will overcome and Bahamians will get through this COVID-19 pandemic together. As he says, we are progressing. However, Dr. Minnis, in giving an update on COVID-19 in the country, reiterated his warning to Bahamians against travel, as he says that a third wave can be worse than a first wave, and says it's essentially risky to leave the Bahamas at this time.
That simple trip abroad into what I would call a COVID Coliseum can result in bringing the virus back, subsequently endangering the opening of our hotels, who are making arrangements to open, and thus placing thousands of Bahamians at risk and not being able to commence their employment.
The Prime Minister says the surge seen in the Northern Hemisphere is even worse than what was seen during the first wave of the pandemic, adding that there is a greater chance of getting infected.
Mr. Speaker, I ask again Bahamians that the record speak for itself, that we travel only if absolutely necessary. And if we were to do that, then our hotels and other entities would be able to open with great comfort and safety. And if we continue to follow the mitigation protocol by the Ministry of Health, we can possibly have a wonderful Christmas.
Dr. Minnis again begged and pleaded with all Bahamians to stay at home unless it's absolutely necessary to travel overseas. He added that he would not like to witness a third wave because of the impact that it can have on the country's health system, adding that it is up to Bahamians to be sensible and careful when it comes to travel and social gatherings. The Prime Minister also addressing the COVID-19 situation in Exuma and Eleuthera. Over the past few weeks, cases on both islands continue to increase. Just recently, the Prime Minister announced restrictive measures for mainland Exuma because of an exponential increase of COVID-19 cases on those islands.
As of yesterday, the 17th of November, there were a total of 99 confirmed cases of COVID-19 on Exuma, and on Eleuthera, a total of 143 confirmed cases. A team from the Ministry of Health, made up of members of the contact tracing team and the surveillance unit, is currently on the ground in Exuma to assess the COVID-19 situation. Health officials reported that from the preliminary analysis of the map of cases, the spread is occurring throughout Exuma.
Dr. Minnis adds that through interviews conducted by the health team, some people are still having gatherings, and residents believe this is largely contributing to the spread of COVID-19 on Exuma. As for Eleuthera, Dr. Minnis says a health team is scheduled to return to Eleuthera next week to complete a follow-up assessment and to determine the impact of the recently imposed restrictive measures on that island. Now, when it comes to domestic travel, Dr. Minnis advised parliamentarians and Bahamians that the domestic travel visa will be introduced very soon, which will be implemented for travel from New Providence, Grand Bahama, Abaco, mainland Exuma, mainland Eleuthera, and Bimini to other islands in the country. 67 cases of COVID-19 confirmed for the country by the Ministry of Health's reports for November 16th and 17th, respectively. Health officials releasing COVID-19 numbers for Monday late last night and for Tuesday this morning. Yesterday's cases total 11, with 9 confirmed cases on New Providence and 2 on Grand Bahama. This after 249 tests were completed. As for Monday's cases, 22 confirmed on Grand Bahama, 16 on Exuma, 7 on New Providence, 6 on Eleuthera, 2 cases each on Abaco and Bimini, and 1 case on Andros. A total of 5,417 cases have been confirmed on New Providence, 939 on Grand Bahama, 187 on Abaco, 143 on Eleuthera, 99 on Exuma, 76 on Bimini and Cat Key, 43 on the Berry Islands, 19 on Andros and Inagua, 11 on Long Island, 8 on Cat Island, 7 on Acklands, 6 on Crooked Island, 3 on Mayaguana, and 346 with locations pending. The total of confirmed cases in the country now stand at 7,323. There are 1,624 active cases, 3 of which are in intensive care, and 20 cases are moderately ill in hospital. The death toll remains at 163. One man is dead and another is in hospital after both were gunned down in Elizabeth Estates last night. Police are now investigating this shooting incident after the man, believed to be in his 30s, died on the Eastern Road while en route to hospital. Police press liaison officer ASP Audley Peters spoke with reporters on the secondary scene.
Shortly after 7 p.m., 2 men approached the residence on Commonwealth Boulevard, and as they did so, another vehicle came behind them. The occupants of that vehicle exited the vehicle, armed with firearms, and discharged their firearms in the directions of the occupants, injuring both men. The victims were transported to hospital via private vehicle. However, while on the Eastern Road, an emergency medical vehicle was stopped. Medical attention was rendered to both men. However, one of the victims succumbed to his injuries.
Both men were shot to the torso, according to ASP Audley Peters, and the condition of the second victim is not known at this time. Now, ASP Peters could not say whether the victims were known to police, nor did he reveal who transported the men to hospital, as he says it's a part of the investigation. He also could not give a motive to the shooting. However, he says this.
We're following some leads right now that seem to be promising. And in due course, the persons at the Criminal Investigations Department should have this matter before the courts.
Police are appealing to members of the public who may have information on this shooting to contact the Criminal Investigations Department at 502-9991. That's 502-9991. You're watching JCN News. Stay with us.
This segment of the news was brought to you by Alive.